Resilience isn't built on your best days. It's built on the mornings you didn't want to get out of bed, but you did. It's built after the phone call that changed everything, after the rejection you never saw coming, after the relationship that ended that you thought would last forever, after the dream that didn't unfold the way you imagined or planned for. See, people admire resilience, but nobody asks for the process that creates it because resilience is expensive. It costs comfort, certainty, and sometimes it even costs the person you thought you would become. The question isn't whether life will knock you down. The question is, who will you become when it does? Let's get into it. Welcome back to Shou Talks, the house where we don't just talk about growth, we build it because awareness is your blueprint, intention is your foundation, and legacy, that's your keystone. Every episode invites you into a different room of the house where we'll challenge the way we think, live, lead, and build. So we're currently in the house of growth, and we've been walking through the becoming wing together. The discomfort room, well, that reminded us that growth rarely feels comfortable. The failure room, that taught us that setbacks don't define us. The patience room, that showed us that becoming can't be rushed. Today, we're stepping into the room that keeps all those lessons alive. Because eventually life stops asking whether you're talented enough and it starts asking whether you're willing to keep going. Welcome to the resilience room. When most people hear the word resilience, they picture someone who's unbreakable, someone who never cries, never struggles, never questions or doubt themselves. But that's not resilience. That's a mask. Real resilience isn't about never breaking. It's about refusing to stay broken. It's learning how to carry disappointment without letting it carry you. It's learning how to bend without losing your roots. One of the biggest misconceptions is that resilient people are simply stronger. I don't believe that. I think resilient people have simply made a decision that life may knock them down, but it doesn't get to decide whether they stay there. That's the difference. Before we can build anything, we have to become aware of what's really happening. Sometimes what we're calling exhaustion is actually discouragement. Sometimes what we are calling bad luck is simply life asking us to grow in ways we've never expected. Awareness changes everything. There have been seasons in my life where I honestly questioned whether I had anything left. Not because I stopped believing in my vision, but because I got tired of rebuilding, tired of starting over, tired of wondering if all the work would ever become something bigger. We've all had moments like that where nobody sees the effort, nobody sees the sacrifices, nobody sees the nights you're laying awake wondering if you made the right decision. From the outside, people see progress. Inside, you're wondering how much more can you carry? The moment everything shifted for me wasn't when life got easier. It was when I realized I had been measuring success by outcomes instead of endurance. I kept asking, when is this going to pay off? Instead of asking, who is this process helping me become? That awareness changed everything. Resilience is a decision. Resilience isn't a personality trait. It isn't something some people are born with and others aren't. It's a decision to get up one more time, to believe one more day, to keep showing up even when the results haven't caught up yet. Awareness shows us where we've been wounded. Intention decides whether we heal or hide. Stop waiting to feel strong. This is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. I'll move when I'm ready. I'll try again when I feel confident. I'll start over when I feel stronger. But strength doesn't come first. Action does. Confidence grows because you keep showing up, not before you do. Sometimes resilience sounds like, I don't know how this is going to end, but I know I'm not done yet. Every storm leaves something behind. Every difficult season changes you. The question is, what will it leave behind? Bitterness, fear, or wisdom? I've learned that life rarely wastes pain. If we're paying attention, every setback leaves us with something we couldn't have learned any other way. Awareness helps us recognize that lesson. Intention helps us apply it. That's how pain becomes purpose. One thing I've learned while building this podcast, while building businesses, raising my boys, trying to become the woman I know I'm capable of becoming, is that resilience rarely looks dramatic. It looks ordinary. It looks like recording an episode when nobody knows your name. It looks like working after the kids go to bed, before they wake up, before your 9 a.m. meeting or 7:30 drop off. It looks like choosing consistency over excitement. It looks like believing in your vision before anyone else does. There have been plenty of opportunities to quit, to slow down, to convince myself I've already done enough. Instead, I made one small decision: keep building. Not because it was easy, but because the life I'm trying to build deserves someone who doesn't quit halfway through construction. I want you to spend a few moments with yourself, not answering for the person you hope to become. Answer as the person you are today. Because resilience doesn't grow through pretending. It goes through honesty. Ask yourself, where in my life have I convinced myself that giving up would be easier than growing? Now ask yourself, what challenge have I been viewing as proof that I'm failing when it actually may be evidence that I'm becoming? And finally, if I trusted that this season was shaping me instead of stopping me, What decision would I make differently this week? You see, growth begins the moment honesty does. Before we leave this room, I want you to take one thing with you, one habit, one mindset, one decision. This week, when something doesn't go your way, don't immediately ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this building inside me? Adopt the mindset that resilience isn't measured by how few times you fall. It's measured by how faithfully you rise. And leave behind the excuse that you're waiting for life to become easier. Life may never become easier, but you can become stronger. Remember, awareness gave you the blueprint. Intention is how you begin building. Before we close the door in this room, I want to leave you with one final thought. Think about the strongest person you've ever known. Not the loudest, not the most successful, the strongest. I guarantee it wasn't because life was easy for them. It was because somewhere along the way, they made peace with the fact that hardship wasn't the end of their story. It was part of how the story was written. Now ask yourself, if resilience became the way you lived every single day, if getting back up became more natural than staying down, if every setback became another brick instead of another excuse, what kind of legacy would you build? Because one day, people won't remember how many obstacles stood in your way. They'll remember the courage you showed while walking through them. That's the thing about resilience. It doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of everyone watching you refuse to quit. And that's the legacy you're building, one decision at a time. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Every room we've entered has prepared us for this one. Discomfort, that stretched us. Failure, humbled us. Patience, steadied us. And resilience, resilience reminds us that becoming isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about refusing to let hardship decide who we become. Awareness helps us see. Intention helps us build. Legacy is what remains long after we're gone. If today's conversation challenged you, encouraged you, or gave you something to reflect on, share it with someone you know who's building their own house. Be sure to follow Shou Talk so you never miss a room. And I want to hear from you. What is something you feel is holding you back? What is an excuse that you are using to keep from moving forward? Remember, you're allowed to evolve out loud. Until next time, protect your peace, honor your growth, keep building your house. I'll see you in the next room.